A look into a book with Balanagendran, an excavation for eternal bliss.
Vanakkam, good evening and welcome to a look into a book with Balanagendran on Radio Udaan of Light of Life. Happy New Year 2015 on behalf of a treasure hunt show, a look into a book, an excavation for eternal bliss. Dear listeners, a year has gone, new year has born, 5 days have passed away, perhaps flown away, 360 days, and soon we are going to achieve 359 days left in the wallet of life in 2015. But the thing that won't change, even though the time changes, is Tantalizing Tuesday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. A look into a book on Radio Udaan, the master of infotainment and the flight that will transform your life from taking you off from the world of stress to the world of bliss. It's my immense pleasure to tell you that the road to maiden convention of Radio Udaan, which is going to be on Jan 31st, 2015 at Ambedkar Bhavan, New Delhi, is on ahead. We are closing in, and we are closing in to close, perhaps to put a full stop in finding the top 5 participants on Radio Udaan. So hurry up, don't spare more time, participate and get the free entry into the convention and enjoy with all of us. We are waiting for you. Let's meet there, let's meet together, enjoy the pleasant climate that we are going to experience at the National Capital Territory, Delhi, on Jan 31st at the Maiden Convention, where paper presentation, cultural events, discussions and much more are awaiting for you. Don't miss the opportunity. Join with us, talk to us, participate. Type in your address bar www.radioudaan.com, radioudaan.com to participate more by requesting archive, participating in shows, filling forms to participate, as well as to submit feedback. Excellent, very good, okay, Pura. The choices, your choices is surely the key to open the door of success, as we have been doing for the past 11 months. We are on the road to the milestone of 12 months, but before that, this is the Treasure Hunt Show, and which is heading towards its sensational 50th episode. This is 47th, and 2 episodes ahead in between to attain the milestone. So hurry up, participate, suggest me how we can host our show, A Look into a Book, on Jan 27, 2015, which is the 50th golden stone of Radio Udaan's history and in a look into a book's history. Today, as we all have prepared, this is the way through which we hunt our treasure. I have come with the most thrilling and informative source. It is surely a bundle or a treasure trove of information that we have never thought of learning in our life. This is not about self-motivation. This is not about something that we need to learn about the history. Of course, it deals with history in a fictional way. as I always believe and as I always portray and propagate, that all fictions can't be outwitted as a mode of just a mere imagination. What we are going to see today is also an example. Many authors have begun to speak about it. The scientific world is preparing itself to face the threats caused or going to be caused by it. Thanks to climate change, the greatest source that got affected because of this, and thanks to the security in all modes that protects this engineering process. If this process is allowed worldwide, you won't have death, I won't have death, none of us will die. Even if we die, we will come back. Even if we have been buried or cremated, burnt into the flames, we will come again. Hitler will come again. Idi Amin will come again, and the world will turn into another brutal land mass. So this is the area that we are going to decide and discuss and hunt in this treasure hunt show. We are going to talk about humans. Besides all, the bottom line of today's treasure hunt is a species. A feet long, three-toed lizard kind of species, which kills the infant, bites the people. It has been cloned and genetically reversed, added the DNAs of avians, amphibians, as well as reptiles. So you can imagine a new species born out of a cloning system where the DNAs of avians, which are nothing but birds, amphibians are nothing but the creatures that can live either in water as well as on land. For example, frog is an amphibian. And reptiles are the one that slithers, that won't walk. We won't call snake is walking or snake is running. Snake will always slither. So those species that slithers on the land are called reptiles. In the sense, all those DNAs of reptiles, amphibians and avians were added into the cloning system, and the DNA is collected from the corpse of a mummy excavated from an island, the deserted, silent, uninhabited island. A species grown. The species grown up to 1 feet, weighs like a small chicken, has 3 toes, but the toes prints on the sand marks a big bird. It has teeth, or I can say tooth, because line of teeth, with more disgusting smell of saliva. If it is biting you, you won't die because of its poison, but you will die because of the smell that is coming out of the saliva. This is what the species one company cloned in its own area, in an island area. We can call it as park, in its own park. But finally the species has turned and haunt the creator. The proverb says the Frankenstein has come to haunt its creator. It has happened finally. What is this species? What the author want to say? The author surely talks about genetic engineering, there is no doubt about it. The author who is talking about DNA separation and DNA confluence and joining the DNAs and creating a new species. For example, imagine from our body, some cells or DNAs have been taken, and the DNAs of a lion, the DNAs of a shark, as well as the DNA of an eagle is added and cloned into a new species. Imagine what are the characteristics that the species will have. It is what the cloning system or genetic engineering we can call. The scientific world felt the bliss when James Watson and Chris have found DNA in 1953, but now the same scientific world is preparing itself to safeguard the humanity and the nature from the threats that are going to be caused because of the invention or discovery of DNA followed by genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is a form of biomass terror, chemical terror we can say, but biomass or biological terror we can simply say, which is used in 2000 also, if we don't forget the disease called SARS. This is what we are going to talk today. This is what we are going to speak about. This is what we are going to excavate in our look into a book for our eternal bliss. What is that book that talks about a special species? What is that park? Where is that park? What happened? But only one clue I can give you, that this movie has been adopted into a film with the name of the park. Released in 1993, first part, 1997 in second part. Both those parts, third part also come, but made by another director. But first and second part occupied the people. Guessed what's that? It is what we are going to speak in a look into a book today. Don't go anywhere. Unique informations about genetic engineering and unique informations about the activities, what the genetic engineers will do, what the species has done, how the species reacted in that way, how computers and transmitters can guide a species in a deserted park of an island. All things we're going to discuss on Radio Udaan of Light of Life in a show, a look into a book with Bala Nagendran, an excavation for eternal bliss.
नारायण सेवा संस्थान द्वारा संपूर्ण विश्व से आए हुए 80 से 100 पीड़ित असहाय निःशक्त बंधु बांधवों के प्रतिदिन निशुल्क ऑपरेशन किए जाते हैं, जो चारों हाथ पैरों पर चलकर आते हैं। वे शल्य चिकित्सा के बाद दोनों पैरों पर चलने लगते हैं। तन से समर्थ होने के बाद निःशक्त बंधुओं को आर्थिक रूप से समृद्ध करने के उद्देश्य से विभिन्न प्रकार के व्यावसायिक कोर्सेज जैसे कंप्यूटर प्रशिक्षण, सिलाई प्रशिक्षण, मोबाइल रिपेयरिंग प्रशिक्षण, प्लम्बिंग प्रशिक्षण, सुथारी प्रशिक्षण एवं इलेक्ट्रॉनिक उपकरण रिपेयरिंग प्रशिक्षण द्वारा प्रशिक्षित किया जाता है। तत्पश्चात उन्हें विभिन्न कंपनियों और संगठनों में जॉब दिलवाई जाती है। छोटा मोटा व्यवसाय खुलवाते हैं। वर्ष में 2 बार निशुल्क निःशक्त सामूहिक विवाह समारोह आयोजित कर उन्हें सामाजिक रूप से भी समृद्ध बनाती हैं।
मैं आरसी मोनिका करूंगी आपके लक्ष्य को पाने में आपकी मदद और बनूंगी आपकी सहभागी आपकी सक्सेस में। लाऊंगी आपके लिए जीके से जुड़े अनछुए पहलू और शेयर करेंगे हम ज्ञान को। यस फ्रेंड्स, मैं आरसी मोनिका ला रही हूँ आपके लिए ज्ञान से सराबोर एक एजुकेशनल प्रोग्राम जिसका नाम है लेट्स एंजॉय 2020। Every Monday at 10 to 11 p.m. and repeat broadcast on Tuesday 5 to 6 p.m. only on Radio Udaan.
कभी महक की तरह हम गुलों से उड़ते हैं, कभी धुएं की तरह पर्वतों से उड़ते हैं। ये कैचियां हमें उड़ने से खाक रोकेंगी कि हम परों से नहीं हौसलों से उड़ते हैं। जी हां दोस्तों, आप भी जुड़ जाइए हमारे साथ अपने ख्वाबों की उड़ान लिए, अपनी कल्पनाओं की उड़ान लिए, अपनी ख्वाहिशात की उड़ान लिए। लॉग ऑन कीजिए www.radioudan.com और चलिए हमारे साथ एक कभी न खत्म होने वाले सफर पर, जिसका नाम है रेडियो उड़ान।
A look into a book with Bala Nagendran, an excavation for eternal bliss.
Yes, friends, if you have guessed the book as Jurassic Park and the author as Michael Crichton and the director of the film adapted from this book as Steven Spielberg, you're absolutely right. Hats off. Michael Crichton, author's introduction. Michael Crichton, born in October 23rd, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, United States, is a physician, screenwriter, scriptwriter, playwright, author, journalist, and played many roles as a lecturer cum professor. He has been graduated from Harvard University. From there itself, he has written many creations under series of pen names, one of whom which made him more famous is John Lange. In the name of John Lange, Michael Crichton has written amazing creations including Spear, The Rising Sun, The Andromeda's Train, and many more. But his masterpiece, or the creation that made him world famous, is the one that has been released in the year 1990 under the title Jurassic Park. The book, as soon as got released, attracted the eyes of the readers. It gives the eardrum of the readers, those who listen the book. And in 1993, thanks to Steven Spielberg, the book has reached from top to bottom sphere of the mass of the world in the form of a film. None of us can say that we are not afraid of that movie. Everybody felt that the large-sized dinosaur is reaching towards us. It's been still wondering in my mind when I've seen that movie in theater in the year 1993 when I was 4 years old. Still, I couldn't forget the species raising out of the egg. But while reading the book, I felt more things. Because I always suggest, and I'm suggesting you too, read Jurassic Park. I know most of us have seen that movie. Almost I can say all of us have seen that movie. The movie is, without a tint of doubt, an absolute blockbuster. It has earned more than 1 billion. Steven Spielberg has become the landmark director in film industry all over the world. But Michael Crichton should not be omitted. Read the book, you will feel that there are many more things that Steven Spielberg omitted. That may be an act of deliberate. He might have done this intentionally to give a concrete structure to 1.5 hours or 2 hours of a film, because it's difficult to take all the essence given in 400 pages. Sit, open the book and read. You will visualize the species chirping closer to you. Species jumping on your hand, launching at its 3 toes on your arms, which stings into you, and started biting your palms with its disgusting saliva, the foul-odored saliva flowing all over your hands. Soon your hands will get swollen. Then your hands will begin to look something bluish and brownish. You will feel the utmost terrible pain. You will start writhing in pain. You will feel all these things while the characters, like a small construction worker and the young infant and the brave come little Christina felt in the island of Isla Nublar in Costa Rica. This is where the narration begins. Introduction. The world of science is a gold gush. Things are flowing from one space to another. Now there is no field to say where there is no science. At the ancient and tradition times, science played an implicit role. Nowadays, science occupies the spotlight. Without science, nothing is flowing. Human mass began to understand the necessity of science. Necessity is the mother of wisdom, is the landmark slogan of human endeavor. Human compassion began to grow, to find new things for the betterment of the mass to flourish in the future. Sustainability is the tagline of all the discoveries and inventions. Unfortunately, some discoveries turns the spear into topsy-turvy. Things were not falling into the places. The pieces of the puzzle were falling apart and putting the entire mass into the jeopardy of free, safe, and fair livelihood. This is what happened when the DNA has been discovered in 1953. The scientific world began to praise the inventors. The discovery has been considered to be one of the hallmarks in the history of science, in the history of genes, in the history of genetics, that it portrayed the evolution of mankind. It supported the theory of evolution and the survival of the fittest given by Charles Darwin. Besides all, it was the discovery was the one that made the mass to learn that human evolution is not a mere miraculous creation. It had its own pros and cons. This is what the same turned the entire world into a thunderous fear when such genetic engineering has occupied the unwanted hands. Species have been created. We have seen monkey, dog, sheep. Everything has been created. Some of them have been sent to space as well. Iraqian monkey has been sent into the space. The sheep has been sent into the space. Dog also went and returned. But what we have got in return, the genetic engineering and the process have been caught by the terrorists, and the SARS has been released into China in the year 2000. And we are afraid that the growing Ebola could also be the reason for such scientific mishap. The same thing happened in Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, in the island of Isla Nublar in Costa Rica, where the 300 times more number of birds prescribed in the books are present. The park, owned by Haymond the International Genetic Engineering Construction Company, or INGENM. Heyman and the groups are controlling the species that are cloned and sent into the park. They have made a few species which are previously considered as the basilisk lizard because it looks 1 inch tall and has 3 toes like a lizard. But later, after the incidents that we are going to specify, it has been found that it's nothing but, it's not a basilisk lizard. It is Procomsognathus. 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 A new sort of scientific discovery has begun in the island as Arnold Gardner and Ellis Settle have begun as a paleobotanist went to the island and found the corpse. Some corpses have been put into test, and then they have found Tyrannosaurus, Rhinoceros, Sinoceros, Meso, and Raptors. Finally, they have come to the conclusion that this is nothing but the species belong to the family of dinosaurs lived in millions of years ago on Earth. Prologue. Raptor's Bite. Dr. Roberto Carter is watching through the window of Bahia's island of Costa Rica. She was happy to be alone after the 2 years of hectic journey in the emergency medical system as California. But the Bahia's island is not giving her entire joy because of everyday rain. The rain has begun to splash in through the windows. The clouds and the fogs are hiding the sea waves which are looking at a distance from her house. The roof makes the noise of rain droplets. Suddenly, by mixing the noise of rain, a helicopter has begun to land. Fortunately, it has landed on the wet sand. Few corps with a cop uniform jumped out, and they have opened the back big door, and they were shouting something in Spanish, and they have pulled out a young kid who looks that he has suffered from an accident. A man with a white coat and a baseball cap from which the red hairs are coming out, shouting, "Is there a doctor?" Roberto Carter has ran away and said, "I am Dr. Carter. What can I do for you? We had taken a boy who was suffering from an accident. Injuries are heavy. Can you look at it?" The doctor has seen and ordered the boy to be placed on the table at the room which has a green door. The boy has been kept, and the assistant to Carter has put in the lights on. Doctor swung the middle light closer to the kid and seen the grotesque attack marks on the body. From one side, from his shoulder to torso, which means stomach. Left side, torso means body, especially that covers from the shoulder to the hips, we can say. Left side, from shoulder to the torso, there was a splash. The bite was too hard. The pale bones are visible. His shoulders got dislocated. His hands have been found with the bruises. And nearby his thighs, another bite is visible. It looks that the boy's thighs have been ripped open apart. The entire muscular and the tissue that connects the bones have been visible. Blood was pouring in. Carter looked in suspicion. "What happened?" Carter asked. The white-coated man said, "A construction accident." She has taken few snaps of the injuries, and suddenly the pale-faced boy who has been unconscious gained consciousness and said, "Raptor, Raptor." 3 times saying the word, Carter got surprised, and the boy suddenly jerked and fell down and vomited full of blood. After few moments of vomit, he laid still. No movements. Carter wanted to do mouth-to-mouth treatment, but her assistant stopped it because Raptor will catch at night. Raptor will cross over. What is Raptor? Dr. Carter went into her desk and taken the diary and dictionary of Spanish and started probing into the term called raptor. Raptor is an abductor or a kidnapper who abducts the infants and kids and kills them, says the synonyms. When she asked that same to a woman at night, she said this is not the right time to ask about raptors. But finally, they are found through the saliva samples which the assistant has taken from the body of the kid, and with the disgusting smell that this is not a mythical raptor. There is something that clearly mauled the boy. It was a clear sign of a mauling. What's that? Then we have been taken into the deserted island of Costa Rica, where Elena and her husband with the brave 8-year-old Christina were traveling as a holiday trip. What they have seen in the park nearby the palm trees. What happened to Christina? Let's stay tuned and listen to a look into a book, An Excavation for Eternal Bliss. Today we are traveling with Michael Christian, and we are entering into Jurassic Park.
रेडियो उड़ान सुन रहे सभी मित्रों को मेरा प्यार भरा नमस्कार। मेरा नाम मधु सिंघल है। मैं बेंगलोर में कार्यरत संस्था मित्र ज्योति, जो पिछले 25 वर्षों से दृष्टिहीनों एवं दूसरे विकलांग व्यक्तियों के लिए कार्यरत है, उसकी मैनेजिंग ट्रस्टी हूँ। इस संस्था की गतिविधियाँ इस प्रकार हैं। यहाँ पर दृष्टिहीनों के लिए ऑडियो में पुस्तकें रिकॉर्ड की जाती हैं। इसके साथ साथ ब्रेल में और स्कैन्ड पुस्तकें भी उनको दी जा रही हैं। कंप्यूटर प्रशिक्षण और रोजगार की सुविधाएं भी यहाँ प्रदान की जा रही हैं। दृष्टिहीन महिलाओं के लिए एक विशेष प्रकार का कोर्स चलाया जाता है, जिसमें उन्हें आत्मनिर्भर बनकर जीवन में आगे बढ़ने की क्षमता प्रदान की जा रही है। आप मित्र ज्योति से संपर्क कर सकते हैं। यहाँ का फोन नंबर है 08022587623 और 22587625। ईमेल एड्रेस है admin.office@mitrajyoti.org। वेबसाइट है www.mitrajyoti.org।
रेडियो उड़ान कन्वेंशन 2015।
मकसद आप सबसे मिलने का।
रेडियो उड़ान कन्वेंशन 2015
जहां होंगी पोइट्री, प्ले, सिंगिंग, प्रेजेंटेशन और मच मोर।
So what are you waiting for? जल्दी से रजिस्टर करें हमारी वेबसाइट www.radioudan.com पर और बने पार्ट 2015 रेडियो उड़ान कन्वेंशन का।
प्रतिभा की पहचान,
प्रज्ञा की मुस्कान,
सबलांगों का साथी, ये है रेडियो उड़ान।
रेडियो उड़ान के प्रोग्राम्स की जानकारी के लिए, शोज में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए, किसी भी शो को फीडबैक देने के लिए, आर्काइव रिक्वेस्ट करने के लिए, आरजे बनने के लिए और अपने फेवरेट आरजेस की प्रोफाइल्स पढ़ने के लिए लॉग ऑन करें www.radioudaan.com, Skype ID Radio Udaan, email mail@radioudaan.com. Radio Udaan, a flight of lights.
A look into a book with Balanagendran, an excavation for eternal bliss.
Ellen, Christina and her husbands were traveling into the deserted beach islands where they were talking about animal species and reptiles. Especially, they were talking about snakes, where Mr. Walker explains that snakes can't live on the sand of a beach. The temperature is 90 degrees. If the snake is on the beach sand, it will surely be cooked automatically. Then they have got down. The husband and wife have begun to speak in a deserted environment while the kid started moving closer towards the water. Christina, the brave 8-year-old girl, has the project of school, which is nothing but to count the animals or species in general which she experiences in her trips. As a part of that, she has found many species. With the same interest, she moved closer towards the water. She was sitting on the sand, deserted place, and suddenly she had a thought, move towards the palm tree area. Group of palm trees looked like a forest where Christina sat. Suddenly, she heard a chirping noise and a moving sound. Something is coming by yards. From few yards, at the root of a large palm tree, Christina found 1 inch long necked, green color and brown striped, with a long tail, 3-toed lizard-like creature standing and staring at her. First she frightened. Bile began to race to her throat. But sooner she gained her confidence and thought that the species is afraid of her. She didn't say anything or done anything. The species began to move towards her. It has come closer and chirped again. It has come closer, chirped again. Wherever the species moved, she looked and noted the footprints, which exactly looked like the footprints of a big bird. The species has come closer to her and raised and cocked its head. Christina didn't do anything in order to make the species feel ease, and she don't want to frighten the species. And she felt that the species has come with an expectation of a food, but unfortunately Christina has no food. She opened her palms and showed in front of the species' face that she has no food. Another chirp, another cock of a head. Suddenly, the unthinkable happened. Something has jumped into the arms of Christina. Something began to stink its toes into the arms, which Christina find painful. And suddenly, something began to bit her palms. Everything gone black. Husband and wife, Elena and her husband, were talking. At the same time, the wind flow began to slow down, through which they heard the noise of their daughter screaming. They ran away, but Christina fell down on the sand. Disgusting, foul-odoured saliva flowing on the hands, the species ran away and perhaps we can say slithered into the forest. This is where the author gives the turning point of the scientists began to research and found that the Haymans, the Arnold Heyman, the International Genetic Corporation, was the one responsible for these species, which is nothing but Procomsognathus. It's a kind of a dinosaur family member that can live in water as well as on land. Finally, what happened? It has been found that suddenly there was a computer crash in Heyman. Computer has been restarted. The entire park has been shut down. The electricity is gone. It has been restarted. While restarting, there was a series of errors through which all these Procomsognathus that are made to be female in order to control population with a less lysine content in their body have turned to become male. Some of them became male and the population began to flourish in a minute. This is how the park has become lethal and dangerous. The owner Heyman has gone to visit. Suddenly he heard one theropod noise, the dinosaur's noise. He fell from the peak of the mountain into the bottom where he has been eaten alive by the packs of Procomsognathus. These are all explained in the adaptation of the film. We can see the park, we can see the species that are acting in a gruesome fashion. We can also feel the species that are coming towards us. If we can feel through a film, imagine while reading, especially if you sit and read at midnight like me, you can have some pretty good experiences of not only bile will race up to your throat, you will also go and come from your hall and your room, and you will be expecting somebody to sit beside you. Otherwise, some chirping species can bite you. That sort of impact that Michael Crichton and his Jurassic Park could create. Well, friends, I hope you have listened many things, but for your own experience, let me play an adaptation of Jurassic Park Part 1 released in the year 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg, from a novel of Michael Crichton, Jurassic Park, an audio description movie. Just listen for a while and feel the fear growing in you.
Universal Pictures presents an Amblin Entertainment production, Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg, from a novel by Michael Crichton, starring Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant, Laura Dern as Dr. Ellie Sattler, Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm, and Richard Attenborough as John Hammond. Audio described by Therese Birch. During a pre-opening event at a theme park, there's a power cut. The cloned dinosaur exhibits are able to escape and run amok. Nighttime, tropical foliage rustles and moves. A man in a hard hat watches with an apprehensive expression. Trees sway. A group of men in hard hats with Jurassic Park emblems on them stare ahead anxiously. A dark shape moves amongst the undergrowth. Armed men hold their guns as if ready to shoot. In the foreground, a game warden in a bush hat focuses on the foliage. A forklift emerges from the trees with a large rectangular cage-like container held high. Men in hard hats back away in front of it, training their guns on the box. The driver of the forklift approaches a wooden platform in a floodlit clearing. A man directs him to lower the container. Caption: Isla Nublar, 120 miles west of Costa Rica. a view from inside the container looking out.
Pushing team, move in there. Move it! I want tasers on full charge. Ready! One, step back in. Ready, move it! Adelante, empuje! And push!
Some of the men slide the box between two high reinforced pillars.
Well up! Loading team, step away! Gatekeeper!
A man in a hard hat climbs on top of the box. Something inside watches him through the slot.
Joffrey, raise the gate!
The gate man on top of the box pulls up the slotted door at the front. As he does so, the box slides back suddenly and he's thrown to the ground. The gate man is dragged by the legs backwards towards the opening. The team of men fire tasers through gaps in the side of the box. The gate man clings to a handle on the outside but is lifted off the ground. The game warden tries to free him from the unseen creature. A close-up of a reptilian eye, then the gate man's terrified face. The game warden struggles to hang on to the gate man, but he slowly slips from his grasp as he's dragged into the box. The reflection of a figure in calm water, a man in a suit carrying a briefcase, is towed by a rope attached to a raft across the water to a jungle riverbank where 4 men are waiting. Caption: Mano de Dios Amber Mine, Dominican Republic. A man greets the visitor with a handshake as he steps off the raft.
Hola, Juanito. Hola, bienvenido. What's this out here at the airport? Hammond's not even here?
He sends his apologies.
We are facing a $20 million lawsuit by the family of that worker, and you're telling me that Hammond can't even bother to see me?
He had to leave early. He wants to be with his daughter. She's getting a divorce.
Well, I understand that, but we've been advised to deal with the situation now. The insurance company...
He slips on the rocks.
The underwriters feel that the accident has raised some very serious safety questions about the park. That makes the investors very, very anxious. I had a promise to conduct a very thorough on-site inspection.
Hammond hates inspections. They slow everything down.
Juanito, they'll pull the funding. That'll slow him down even more.
Seguro. A ver, muéstrame.
They enter the mine.
If 2 experts sign up on the island, the insurance guys will back off. I've already got Ian Malcolm, but they think he's too trendy. They want Alan Grant.
Grant? You'll never get him out of Montana.
Luz, más luz. Why not? Muchachos, échame luz. Hey, why not?
Because Grant's like me. He's a digger. Qué lindo eres.
The man smiles as he holds up a piece of amber containing a mosquito lit by the headlamps of the miners that are watching. A brush clears sand from a blackened curved bone. A group of archaeologists surround a skeleton and hastily brush away the sand that covers it. Caption: Badlands near Snakewater, Montana.
Dr. Grant, Dr. Sattler, we're ready to try again.
I hate computers.
Feelings mutual.
A good-looking couple, Dr. Alan Grant and Dr. Ellie Sattler, walk off, arms around each other. 2 of the dig team fire a brass cylinder into the ground. Alan takes off his hat and sunglasses, and with Ellie and the rest of the team watches a computer screen.
How long does this usually take?
The shape bring an immediate return. Shoot the radar into the ground and the bone bounces the image back. Bounces it back. This new program's incredible. A few more years development and we won't even have to dig anymore.
Where's the fun in that?
It's a little distorted, but I don't think it's a computer.
Oh. Postmortem contraction of the posterior neck ligaments. Velociraptor?
Yeah, it's good shape, too. It's 5, 6 feet high, I'm guessing 9 feet long. Look at the extraordinary...
What'd you do?
He touched it. Dr. Grant's not mission compatible.
Got it in for me.
And look at the half-moon-shaped bones in the wrists. No wonder these guys learn how to fly. No, seriously. Well, maybe dinosaurs have more in common with present-day birds than they do with reptiles.
Look at the pubic bone, turned backward, just like a bird. Look at the vertebrae, full of air sacs and hollows, just like a bird.
And even the word raptor means bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
A turkey, huh?
Oh, no.
Okay. Try to imagine yourself in the Cretaceous period. You get your first look at this 6-foot turkey as you enter a clearing. He moves like a bird, lightly bobbing his head. And you keep still because you think that maybe his visual acuity is based on movement, like T-Rex, and he'll lose you if you don't move. But no, not Velociraptor. You stare at him, and he just stares right back. And that's when the attack comes, not from the front, but from the side. From the other two raptors, you didn't even know were there. Because Velociraptor's a pack hunter, you see. He uses coordinated attack patterns, and he is out in force today. And he slashes at you with this 6-inch retractable claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He doesn't bother to bite your jugular like a lion, say. No, no. He slashes at you here, or here. Or maybe across the belly, spilling your intestines. The point is, you are alive when they start to eat you. So, you know, try to show a little respect.
Okay.
The little boy looks chastened. Alan and Ellie walk up a sandy hill.
Hey, Alan. If you wanted to scare the kid, you could have pulled a gun on him, you know.
Yeah, I know. Kids. You want to have one of those?
I don't want that kid, but a breed of child, Dr. Grant, could be intriguing. I mean, what's so wrong with kids?
Oh, Ellie, look, they're noisy, they're messy, they're expensive.
Cheap.
They smell?
They do not
Some of them smell. Baby smell.
A helicopter descends over the site. Sand blows over the skeleton. Alan and Ellie run towards it. Alan runs over to the helicopter as it lands. Alan runs past washing on a line strung up outside a caravan. He opens the door to find a man with a white beard and a straw hat, taking a bottle of champagne out of the fridge.
What the hell do you think you're doing in here? Hey, we were saving that.
For today, I guarantee it.
Who in God's name do you think you are?
John Hammond, and I'm delighted to meet you finally in person, Dr. Grant. Still, I can see that my 50,000 a year has been well spent.
Okay, who's the jerk?
This is our paleobotanist, Dr.
Sattler.
Sattler. Ellie, this is Mr. Hammond.
I'm sorry about the dramatic entrance, Dr. Sattler, but...
Hello.
Hey, what about your exam?
Oh, what can I say? I'm flunked once again. This reasoning section is hurting a lot. I don't know what to do.
I have a good news for you. Hold on and listen to the split.
2 plus 1 is equal to 3. 3 plus 4 is equal to 21. 5 plus 6 is equal to 55. Then 4 plus 8 is equal to what? What comes once in a year, twice in a week?
जी हाँ फ्रेंड्स, हम आपके लिए लाए हैं एक बहुत ही मजेदार शो जिसका नाम है मिसेस कंफ्यूजन, जो कि आपकी कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट भी करेंगी और उसे सॉल्व भी करेंगी। सो सुनना ना भूलिए मिसेस कंफ्यूजन, अ शो ऑन रीजनिंग, एवरी संडे 10 PM to 11 PM only on Radio Udaan.
एक मंच जहां मिलती है महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां,
सवाल हो और जवाब दूं,
एक मंच जहां होते हैं हंसी और ठहाके।
एक मंच जहाँ होती हैं चर्चाएं।
दूसरी वाली आपको नहीं समर्पित करूंगा।
नहीं कीजिए, बड़े स्पोर्टिंग।
आप पहले सुन लीजिए, उसके बाद कहिएगा आपको चाहिए समर्पण कि नहीं चाहिए।
एक मंच जहां मिलेगा लोकप्रिय संगीत,
और इन सब के बीच एक ऐसा मंच जहां मिलता है सब कुछ। लॉग ऑन कीजिए www.radioudan.com और जुड़ जाइए हमारे साथ।
A look into a book with Balanagendran, an excavation for eternal bliss.
In a look into a book, we have seen the movie, perhaps we have listened to the movie. This is the first time in any show we can say this can only happen on Radio Udaan of Light of Life, in a look into a book, an excavation for eternal bliss, where your Balanagendran is sitting. Well, friends, the film might have been something interesting that would have kindled your interest, and sometimes you might have felt that you are confused what's there. He has said something as a prologue, but the movie has begun with something. The movie has shown the species are running amok, but the prologue or the book begins in another note titled Raptor Bite. This is what the difference between the novel and the adapted movie. To show the difference and to say that you need to read the novel, we have taken a small effort. We hope that it would have helped you. But let's get back to the business. What happens after everything got restored? Mr. Hammond has got dead because he has been eaten by a pack of Procomsoctonus, and at the same time the Air Force members have collected the samples and the corpse of those destroyed species named the chirping, disgusting species called Procomsoctonus. At the same time, the doctors and the visitors, those who have stepped down at the Costa Rican island, have begun to float. They have said some of the species were escaped before they got killed. Some of them are roaming into another village. It has escaped despite the transmitters, despite the control systems, and despite the computers and all technological securities. What will happen if the species have gone? The special characteristics of the species are, the major characteristics we can say is, as I said earlier, it will bite the grown people, but it will kill the infants. In one incident we can say 3 species have stepped in front of a home. By listening to a unique chirping noise of a mouse, a woman and a mother of a young infant opened the door. She has seen 3 lizard-like species which are coxing their heads and chirping. Suddenly 3 of them jumped and all over the young kid. One of the species pulled and wrapped away and ran with the face of the kid, of the infant. It has torn up the face of an infant. It is mentioned in the book, which will make you, I cannot express that experience, how I felt when I read that the kid's face has been torn off and the lizard-like species has run away with the piece of that face. Well, with that heart and with that heart-frightening, thunderous note, it's me, Balanagendran, have to say bye-bye to you today on this Tantalizing Tuesday, the first episode of 2015, a look into a book, an excavation for eternal bliss, in order to pay way to Mr. Sandeep and his sensational sports galaxy. Let's sit together what he holds for us. And as I said, Don't forget to feedback. Don't forget to write to us. Join us in Facebook and Twitter, in Radio Udaan Skype. Skype ID is Radio Udaan, RADIOUDAAN. Don't forget to join with us. Don't forget to participate. And don't forget to earn the top 5 position to get the free ticket into the maiden convention of Radio Udaan, which is going to be on January 31st, 2015. As of now, this is me, Balanagan, saying bye-bye, good night, buenas noches, vanakkam from Jurassic Park.
A look into a book with Balanagendran, an excavation for eternal bliss.